Welcome back for another video. So today we are going to do some work. We are going to get some of the pre-requirements done in terms of the configuration manager. Remember last video that we run the pre-requirement tool or prerequisite tool check tool, and there was loads of problems. So lots of problems on the SQL side and not so many problems on the configuration manager side. But to be honest with you, that tool was lying to you, because one of the things on the SQL, it wasn't actually problem with the SQL itself. So if I open here the logs and I search for membership, for example, we can see here, or actually, let's look for error on SCCM 03. Oh, sorry, server 002. Yeah. So on the server 02, anything that is error. So we can see here, fail to connect, then fail to do something. Sorry, actually, I'm wrong. Ah, yeah, 02. Yeah. So there are a lot of errors on 02 that should not exist. Fail to get something, fail to access, fail, so failed as SQL account, fail to registry. Lots of errors that actually could give you the wrong indication that something is wrong. In this specific situation, nothing was wrong. The problem was access. So how we fix that specific problem, almost every single problem with the SQL, will be simple. Let's open the firewall and let's allow an app through the firewall. So remember that there are some ports that we need to allow through the firewall. And some ports is 445, 135, or RPC and RPC dynamic. And those basically is file and print sharing. So in this case, I will just allow file and print server on the domain level, because this is a domain environment. So, and that problem should be gone. Okay, later on we are going to run this tool again, but that was one of the problems. The second one, it was the RDC on the configuration manager server. For this one, it's quite simple. Let's open the server manager and let's add the RDC to the configuration manager server. So it's a feature of the Windows, so we don't need to do a lot of stuff. So let's just add roles and features. And what we're going to do is we're going to basically next until we go to this features. And you can see here features. And what we're going to do is just scroll down here and select remote differential compression, or RDC, and basically install. There is not even a reboot as far as I recall. It's just next, select, finish, that's it. So the RDC is the simplest one to install. And while it's installed, it should not take longer, by the way. While it's installing, don't forget to like the video, share with your friends and co-workers, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you have questions, just leave them in the comments below. Just remember to use the hashtag #AskRaphael, so it's quite easy for me to actually find the question and answer this to you. So we can see here, RDC already installed. So let's click close. The second part is .NET 3.5. .NET 3.5 is also part of the Windows. So we just need to go here, add feature, rows and features. And under features, we are going to add here, you can see here, .NET 3.5, and we just select here .NET 3.5. Okay, next, and install. From time to time, it fails the installation because it cannot download the files from the internet. In this case, if it fails, what you can do is specify an alternate source path, and for that you need to have the SCCM as source of the Windows Server. In this case is Windows Server 2019, so I get here the ISO for the Windows Server 2019. And if I go to the ISO, I have here sources and a folder called SXS. And I'm just going to copy that folder and use this specify alternate source path and put here the source. So Z sources SXX. And click install. So now it's going to install from the source, from the original source on the CD or on the ISO that comes Windows Server 2019. Alternatively, if you don't specify the source, it downloads from the internet, but I've seen from time to time for no reason it just failed. So this is quite a simple way to install .NET 3.5 on the server. And again, while it's installing, we will ask you share with your friends and co-workers, like the video and leave your comments below. Remember, use the hashtag #AskRaphael, so it's quite simple for me to find your question and answer. .NET does take a little bit more time than the RDC, but should not take longer. And after the .NET installation, we need to validate if .NET 4 or 4.6, 4x is installed. It's kind of part of the Windows anyway. And after that, we are going to use the ADK. So we are going to install the ADK. Okay. While it's installing, I'm just going to pause the video. Otherwise, you're going to listen to me talking for quite some time. Bom, .NET 3.5 has just finished the installation, so clicking close. So now let's validate the 4.4.6 that I was talking about. So the best option is just go to manage, add rows. And again, we are going to all the features. And you can see here is .NET 4.7 is already installed. Okay. So we don't need to install. This is normally out of the box. You don't need to do anything. You install is already there. But if someone uninstalled, you need to reinstall. And if you do all the updates, you would have the 4.8 already installed. And the last check I'm going to do, there is still more prerequisites to install. For example, ADK, but I will leave it ADK for another video. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to add the .NET, the configuration manager cd/dvd again, and I'm going to run the pre-requirement check again, just to make sure what we have done actually worked. So on the Z drive, SMS setup, bin x64, prereqcheck, SQL is srv002, endpoint managers.com, and the SDK will be the srv003, endpoint managers.com. And you can see here already one of the problems we had before with the RDC is already fixed. So there is no actually problem with that. What is good, but we still have a problem with the WSUS. And of course, we will have some other problems with, for example, ADK. But this now will be much, much faster if we have done the connectivity or the firewall changes properly on the SQL server. Otherwise, it will take almost as long as before. And while it's doing, I'm just going to quickly pause the video. But before I pause the video, remember, like the video, share with your co-workers, and subscribe. But when you do subscribe, just click that little bell icon and you will be notified every time we upload a new content. Okay, now the prerequisites check has been completed. You can see here, majority of the problems we had before all gone. Almost every single SQL problem we had before are all gone, just because we enable or we disable the firewall, or we enable the ports required for configuration manager to connect to the machine. That's the file in the print server. But there is still couple of errors, so 4 in total, and all those 4 are related with the ADK that we will install on the next video. We have Active Directory publishing problem. Let's see what is this. We have the SQL native client version, but actually it's not the SQL native. We talk about the TLS 1.2, and we have the WSUS issue. And mostly of those, if not all, we are going to fix on the next video. Not today, the next one. So I will see you on the next video.